is now, and you got the green light.
Shabbat Shalom. We begin our services on page 4 with Hinei Matov. Hinei Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei Matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to page 9 for our Shabbat candle blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav metzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
For those watching at home, we turn to page 10 for Kiddush and we rise together.
For Kiddush tonight, we're going to try something a little different. The normal Kiddush that everyone does across the country is something written by Louis Lewandowski, a 19th century German composer. And tonight we're going to do a Kiddush that was written by Samuel Ullman. He was born in Podolia, which is a part of what would be modern-day Ukraine. He studied at the Kishinev and Odessa conservatories and eventually moved to London and studied at the Royal Conservatory of Music and became one of the best known and most famous composers in English Jewish history. We begin the Kiddush. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ברעת צבנו בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשי בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת באותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
L'chaim. Please be seated.
Tonight in Kabbalat Shabbat, we're going to sing something that is not in our prayer book. It is a normal part of the Kabbalat Shabbat process, which goes from Psalm 95 onward, Psalm 29, Lecha Dodi, Psalm 92. So Psalm 96 is a part of that. And we're going to sing a version by Jonathan Franzel. And sing along when you get the hang of it. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בשרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בשרו מיום ליום ישועתו. ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים, כי ככל אלוהי העמים אלילים, באדוני שמיים עשה, הוד והדר לפניו, עוז ותפארת במקדשו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בשרו מיום ליום ישועתו. הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, חילו מפניו כל הארץ, אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך, אף תיכון תבל בל תימות, ידין עמים במישרים. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. Continue with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabelha. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabelha. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha tishmiyanu, el המיוחד אדוני אחד שמו אחד, שם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשב בתחילה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We take that moment together, we stand and face the west, and we greet Shabbat HaMelkah.
בואי ושלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלתו אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We remain standing and we turn to the bottom of page 11.
Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. Yay da 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 da. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך, המבורך לעולם.
Please be seated, the bottom of page 13. Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone, and may it be my custom to go outdoors each day, especially to take all of it in, the trees and grasses, among all growing things, there to be alone and enter into prayer. And there may I express all that is in my heart, talking with God to whom I belong. And may all grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming. Send the power of their life into my prayer. Make it whole my heart and my speech, through the life and spirit of growing things, made whole by their transcendent source. Oh, that they would enter into my prayer. Then would I fully open my heart in prayer, supplication, and holy speech. Then, O God, would I pour out the words of my heart before your presence. On the next page.
Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amecha ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu B'shokbeinu uvkumeinu Nasiach mechukecha V'nismach medivrei Toratecha Uv'mitzvotecha Leolam va'ed Ki hei mechayenu Be'orech yameinu U'bahem nehegeh Yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch ata Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
The bottom of page 18, and we continue together. And finally, to remember just why all these things matter. They matter because I, Adonai Elohecha, brought you and your children out of Egypt to be God for you. I am your God. And when you do these things, I will be your children's God. The bottom of page 20. As a matter of truth and of faith, we proclaim that Adonai is our God and there is none else, and we are Israel, God's people. Because God has freed us from the grip of earthly rulers, our sovereign redeemed us from the fist of tyrants. God has done great things and countless wonders that surpass our understanding, given us life that we have not stumbled. God has given us miracles to overcome Pharaoh, signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. And from their midst, Israel was brought to eternal freedom. And when the children of Israel, when they witnessed the divine power, they extolled God, they gave thanks, and accepted God's dominion. With great joy, Moses and all Israel sang our song of redemption. Page 21.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh, malchutecha ra'u banecha, mokei ayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam, Ze'eli, anu ve'ameru, Adonai meloch leolam ba'ed, Adonai meloch leolam ba'ed, Adonai meloch leolam ba'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו יתחזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
The top of page 23, we continue. Adonai, our God, cause us to lie down in peace and raise us up, our sovereign, to life. Cover us with the sukkah of your shalom, your peace, and prove us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us, remove from us enmity, pestilence, war, hunger, and anguish. Let there be no evil before us or behind us. Protect us within the shadow of your wings. For you are our guardian and our helper, our divine ruler, merciful and gracious. Guard our going out and our coming into life and to peace, now and forevermore. Cover us with the sukkah of your peace. Bless you, Adonai, who spreads the sukkah of peace over us, over the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. On the bottom.
Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. ואת השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
We turn to page 24 and we rise together for tefillah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elokei avoteinu ve'imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי המתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עבר מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. The bottom of page 29, as the great Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel perfectly reminds us about tonight, because the meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things in space, but on Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It's a day when we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the result of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. The top of page 30.
Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Amecha El Karov Lechol Korah B'nei El Avadecha V'choneinu Shefoch Ruchacha Aleinu B'techezena Eineinu B'shuvcha leTzion Berachamim Baruch Adonai Hamachazir Shechinato
The top of page 35. Grant us peace, that most precious gift, O thou eternal source of peace, and enable Israel to be its messengers to the peoples of the earth. Bless our country that may ever be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. Make contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of all lands. Plant virtue in every soul. May the love of thy name hallow every home and every heart. Praise be thou, Lord, giver of peace. The top of page 34.
עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני, עושה השלום.
We take a few moments for silent prayer.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We're at that moment in our service where we all take the time to think of our friends, those who mean so much to us, a neighbor, a mentor, those who are in need of healing of body or spirit. On the Shabbat, we especially think of David Romanoff, Rucker Collier, Eileen Johnson, Fred Friedman, Mike Friedman, Chrissy St. Charles, Don St. Charles, Kekulette Mendel, Mark Petrosky, Diane Larson, and Melba Epsman. If you are thinking of a loved one who's in need of healing of body or spirit, we invite you to take this time for those names. Our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing, is on the bottom of page 38.
Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Thanks, Paul. Hey, thanks, Catter Whitner. Inside joke since March. There's only a few other people who would get that, but there's a great rabbinic teaching. Our rabbis tell us that 9 rabbis, they can't make a minyan, but 10 shoemakers can. Of course, this is a good reminder for clerical humility. But our rabbis especially wanted us to focus on what matters the most in Judaism. That, of course, is community. And when we examine the history, the bevy of Jewish literature, especially 1800 years ago, our rabbis always wanted us to be together. And when we are together, our rabbis especially wanted us to be in a synagogue, and after all, synagogue is a Greek word which means assembly place or a place to gather. And if we can't be in a synagogue to pray, our rabbis would tell us, go near a synagogue and face the synagogue in order to pray. See, a synagogue is not just a home for collective Jewish ritual, praxis, and worship. It's our gathering place. It's our place to experience the joys of our tradition, the joys of our celebrations. It's a place where we celebrate. It's a place where we mourn. It's a place where we are all together. For the past really long 4 months, a pandemic has utterly paused this rabbinic concept of a synagogue. We've all been isolated in our homes, many of us isolated from our work, isolated from our friends and families, and therefore this isolation, because of this pandemic, has caused us to create alternative models for Jewish ritual. We are streaming and Zooming services, and not to mention so many of us had this Zoom Seder and other virtual experiences. We use the virtual realm to have education classes, Torah study, and so many of you participated in our pre-neg and oneg on Zoom, and even last month we watched a movie together on Zoom. But I feared that this Zooming and virtual experience, it was fun, but it would lose its novelty. And toward the end of May, things were looking a little bit better with regard to the virus. And we began to process the idea of having a safe opening July 1st, especially as we welcome the Whitners to our family. I've heard so many of you, you miss the Kedusha, you miss the holiness of the space. You miss the feel of the pew while holding the prayer book in your hands. You miss the music to uplift you, our liturgy to inspire us. But most importantly, we miss being with each other. We needed each other to lift us up from our isolation, to kibitz, to sit together in the pews reflecting on the week, discussing our summer plans, because after all, as science clearly teaches us, being with people is a good thing. It lowers our stress, it makes us happier. And Friday nights and Saturday mornings, I so desperately wanted us to come and be together. And moreover, during these past 4 months, I was thinking of all our B'nai Mitzvah families who had to postpone their date. All of you have worked so hard to get to this moment, sat in uncertainty of not knowing when that date was going to be. And something that I'll talk about on Erev Rosh Hashanah, but for those people who lost a loved one, and how this pandemic has utterly crippled our ability to comfort the mourner, especially during Shiva. Life cycles, especially when we're together. It's a time to celebrate. It's a time to mourn. And it's a time to embrace. But then reality sank in this past month. After looking at the numbers and the increase, the leadership and I made the painful decision to pause high holiday services in person and reevaluate as to when we can enter into this building as a collective holy body around mid-October. Pikuach nefesh, saving one's life supersedes any of the commandments. That is our number one obligation to our temple family. This place is a spiritual home and refuge for so many of you. And we will never do anything that would jeopardize your health for being here. But nevertheless, this is still incredibly painful. And again, I want to speak to those who are facing a passing, to those B'nai Mitzvah families who once again have to cancel their dates. And again, this continuation of the isolation. And our heart goes out for those who are suffering from this illness, to those who have lost their jobs, the businesses, schools, and not to mention the depression, the anxiety, those who suffer from addiction because they're in isolation. We are thinking of you, and we hope to God that this will soon come to an end. And most cantors and rabbis, we are trying to process as to what the high holidays will look like this year. Most of us are all going virtual, and many of us are trying to provide the cutting-edge content, the program to elevate our high holiday experience despite its limitations. I understand our realities. I wonder as to how many of us can sit through a 2-hour service on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And I always tell my return students, those who convert to Judaism, the best thing about celebrating the high holidays, especially on Yom Kippur, is being at the synagogue, being here all day, taking in the liturgy, the Torah service, the classes. You get to feel the essence and power of this day even more when we are here together reflecting on the past year. And now, we don't get to have this experience. And therefore, I want to state the following while understanding our limitations. Cantor Whitner, I, our staff, we have already begun to process and plan our high holiday experience. The music will still be as incredible. I promise my sermons will be extra long for your enjoyment. I'm just kidding. We are working hard with our incredible and generous partners at the Grafman Endowment Fund to enhance our worship experience as we endeavor to add many cameras in a sanctuary to get better angles and better positions. And something that I'm really proud to announce, that we have already procured an incredible scholar from Israel who will zoom in the afternoon study session to teach us all what's going on in the state of Israel. And soon we can't wait to hear from you with our focus groups, because we want to make sure these services complement your spirituality. But during my installation, which seemed so long ago, during the first week of February, I told this congregation, that we will have difficulty with the novelty, difficulty with the new. There'll be new voices, new ideas, new music, new programs, and also new prayer books. Mishkan HaNefesh, our high holiday prayer book that we are going to for this high holiday season. And we are going to this prayer book even during a pandemic. The goal of a clergy member is to challenge our congregation. It's to comfort our congregation and to help us find meaning from our experiences. Mishkan HaNefesh will help us so much more because it clearly understands the situation that we are going through. I could easily speak to the fact that this new prayer book has transliteration, gender-neutral language, inclusivity, modern readings, explanation, and footnotes as to why we do our rituals, and the fact that we are using the same high holiday prayer book for the majority of Reformed congregations in North America. This should be a given. But for our situation, what we have faced these past 4 months, Mishkan HaNefesh can help us find meaning of these 4 months. This prayer experience will be more meaningful because how our prayer book will give us the comfort and inspiration. And as your rabbi, I feel I have the Jewish responsibility to introduce us to Mishkan HaNefesh more than ever. Change will always be difficult. Change will always be difficult even during the pandemic. But I'm always hopeful that with the right change can always lead to a better path for all of us. Ken Whitner, Dr. Mosteller, we will miss you terribly during these high holiday experiences. But even during Judaism's most darkest hours in our existence, and during these hours when we too have to stop in-person services because of a pandemic, or because our enemies did not allow us to celebrate, we always took that time during Elul and Tishrei to examine, to process, to engage in introspection. We still have to ask ourselves what worked in our life this past year, what didn't work. We still are obligated to examine our limitations and how we can find the courage to repair broken relationships to heal our soul. During this time in Elul and Tishrei, we still get to talk with God. We still get to challenge God. We get to stop. We listen. And we're able to find that still, small voice that always gives us hope. We won't be here in person, but Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, they will still stand. We will still have this intense reflection and introspection process, even with social distancing. And my charge to our Temple Emanu-El family is to engage in our responsibility to reflect. And perhaps we don't need a shul to do this for individual and communal reflection. We just need our honest selves and improve us and our community. This is always the holiday spirit. And the best thing about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur is not only do we get a second chance, we get a third chance, a fourth chance. We always have the ability to change our lives for Teshuvah. In a way, we get to edit the book of life because we have that responsibility to change anew. And therefore, as I conclude with tonight's remarks, I want to share with you a perfect reading from our new High Holiday Prayer Book, which is right here, that really speaks to us and our ability to change our brokenness to repair our souls. And this is written by Rabbi Laura Geller, Emeritus at Temple Emanu-El in Beverly Hills. Your book of life doesn't begin today, on Rosh Hashanah. It began when you were born. Some of the chapters were written by other people, your parents, siblings, and teachers. Parts of your book were crafted out of your experiences you had because of other people's decisions. Where you lived, what schools you went to, what your homes were like. But the message of Rosh Hashanah, the anniversary of the creation of the world, is that everything can be made new again. That much of your book is written every day by the choices you make. The book is not written and sealed. You get to edit it, decide what parts you want to emphasize and remember, and maybe even which parts you want to leave behind. Shana Tova means both a good year and a good change. And today can be the change of the rest of your life. It's never too late. And during the pandemic, it is certainly never too late. Shabbat Shalom. We'd rise together and turn to page 40 for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו מגובי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, עמד מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, בידעת היום בהשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light, long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love, their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these will be the lights that will always guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways that we remember. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of Jean M. Abrams, Hilda Katz-Beck, Faye Lewis Berman, Maud Schuster-Block, Clara Grace Blutman, Morris L. Blutman, Solomon Max Brodowski, Rebecca Cherner, Herman Cohen, Ellen Siegel-Dorsky, Joe Dubowski, Gladys Hanover Feldman, Herman Friedman, Ray Friedman, Millicent Harris, Ralph Kaplow, Esther K. Cardis, Joe A. Copeland, Ronald M. Leaf, Rachel Levinson, Claire S. Loveman, John Ashton Majot, Herbert Morwitz, Isidore Newmark, Eva B. Perlman, Essie Rosenberger, Leona Rothstein, Samuel Rudachevsky, Frank Sachs, Sarah E. Saracen, Yetta Sigmund, Ruth R. Silverfield, Dave Sokol, Jesse Solomon, Dorothy Steiner, Emmanuel Steiner, Hyman Erdong, Samuel Wasserman, Elaine Weiner, Abe Weinstein, and Bernard Weinstein. And our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Margot Kessler Marks, Garth Bricker, and Sheila Klein. May all their memories forever be a blessing. We rise together as a holy congregation for our mourners' Kaddish on page 44 in our prayer book. Yikadal, Yikadash, Shemei Rabbah, Biomad, Ivrach, Hirote, Vamlich, Malchute, V'chayachon, V'yomechon, Uvkei, to call Beit Yisrael, Bagala, Uzman Kari, V'yamru.
Amen.
Yehei, Shmei, Rabbah, Nevarach, Li'olam, Alamei, Almaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekutsha, Le'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Dalmin ram bioma v'yamru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru. Amen. Osei shalom b'yimromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru. Amen.
Ose shalom b'mromav, o yase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, me'imeru.
And we conclude with Adon Olam, the bottom of page 132.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora ve'hu haya ve'hu hove ve'hu yeh v'tifara ve'hu echad ve'ein sheni lehamshil lo lehachmira ve'li reshit ve'li tachlit ve'lo ha'oz ve'hamisra ve'hu eli ve'chai goali metzur chabli be'et tzara ve'hu nisi umanos li מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו, הפקיד רוחי בעת ישן ואירה, ועם רוחי גוויעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא.
Good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos.